quorum. Everyone has received the minutes going all the way back to November 22nd. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review them. Do I hear any, I would open the floor to any questions, corrections, updates. Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes from November 22nd as written.
So moved.
Here a second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, the minutes carried unanimously. Moving on to the financial report. We are halfway through the fiscal year, so it's kind of a good time to look back and reflect and see where we're at.
Yeah, finance are looking good. We are less than halfway through expending our personnel accounts, significantly so. So I'm expecting, to have a personnel budget surplus at the end of the fiscal year. And in operations, we've spent 46,000 and we have 36,000 remaining, which looks a little bit alarming. But when you consider that our CWMR's assessment, the mini split service, annual magazine subscriptions, those are three costs alone that are front weighted at the very beginning of the fiscal year. And that's over $10,000. So it looks like we're overspending, but we are kind of exactly at the halfway point where we want to be.
Okay. It looks good to me.
Regarding special accounts, not much different other than last month, except for increases in the building donations with interest accounts. Other than that, everything should look the same.
Okay, that's my whole thing with at this point in the year is that you're looking at, you have at least half the money.
Just gotta look at something in the oven, so I'm
right. Half the money to cover personnel, and then the other half to cover operations and purchases and things like that. So I think it looks good. Are we good with that?
Yeah,
Right.
I believe so.
Moving on to the director's report and looking at circulation for December.
Yeah, this will be short. It's I don't have a lot to report on for the month of December. It was cold and nearly everyone took some vacation time. We're working on several small weeding projects, but we're not taking anything out of the collection right now. We're either moving it to the basement or the attic where we have space. Circulation count. 2020 was a huge year for circulation in December because we did a lot of delivery that Christmas. That was kind of an anomaly. Taking that anomaly out of the equation, we're kind of circling what we normally do with the same old trend of things shifting digital from print.
I think things look good.
And that's my report.
All right, so if everybody's good with that, looking down to old business, under building projects, handicap access. No, not yet.
No donations either this month, right, for that?
Oh, no, there are, but that's later in the agenda.
Okay.
There's actually considerable movement.
Oh.
Okay, under other. All right, Jason, you do the description.
All right. I don't know if everybody read this, but, I don't have to read the whole thing in the interest of time. But, a long time ago, we sort of agreed with Discover Books that we wanted a book bin in the back. And it was going to be 44 by 44 inch book bin that did not have a public chute. And we were going to have a key to it and, all this great stuff. And October the 25th was the last time I emailed this guy and didn't hear back from him. And I assumed everything was done. We had to take it off the agenda, and I emailed him saying, we're just not interested anymore. But yesterday morning when we showed up to work, there was a massive book donation bin in the back parking lot. And at first I was kind of taken aback. And, as the day progressed, I started being a little bit less taken aback because now that it's there, excuse me, I kind of like it. They dropped it in the corner of the lot, sort of right behind where Joe typically parks his car for pizza. So it's out of the way enough that I don't think anyone is going to mistake it for the library book drop for returning items. It's big enough that I can haul a bunch of stuff out there that's in the friends room. And they're going to send me a key if we elect to keep it so that, we can open it up and, we could, I need to be able to open it up just in case anyone does, if anyone is non-observant enough to drop library returns there, which, you hope people aren't, but I guarantee there's one person who is. And it also gives the friends access to the books that end up dropped there, because initially the thought was people can bring donations to the library, friends can look at them, decide what they want to keep, the rest we can put in the book drop, or we can put in there whatever doesn't sell at Oktoberfest or the Memorial Day book sales. But if patrons want to just drop stuff in there and then we could take out what we want, that works just as well too.
Right.
So I'm willing to give it a month, but since it's not what we agreed to, I would want the trustees to approve of that, because at this point, an equally valid response would be to email this person back and say, we don't want this anymore, please take it away.
Mhm.
Was it, I have a couple of questions. Well, I'll just list the questions first. Like, was it donated? Did they donate their time and donate the bin? And then the idea is that any book someone doesn't want could be donated there, that we can either, get some money at for pulping. And I'm trying to understand exactly where it is in the parking lot. I don't know where Joe
It's-
parks.
That's actually three questions, Don, but that's okay.
The northeast
Sorry.
corner of the parking lot, or if you're driving in,
Driving straight in, it's straight to the
if you're
back.
driving it in and you
Okay.
look straight ahead, it's way back in that corner.
Okay,
the
not
tree.
near the building, more.
Oh,
where
no,
you
no,
face
no,
the
it's
parking.
way
Yeah.
to the corner of our property, pretty much.
Okay, near the pizza place. Okay.
Yeah,
So it is on
but
the
not
other
even near
side.
that. It's beyond that. It's in the back. Yeah,
Okay.
past that.
Okay.
And I mentioned, we were supposed to get a closed bin too. And he said, if we want it closed, then we basically have to close it ourselves. That was not sort of communicated earlier. But we could, basically tape cardboard or something over the chute or on the inside of the chute where people can't slide stuff in there if we wanted to. But we don't make any money off of it. That was your other question. These are just, a convenient way to get rid of what we would normally be hauling to the bin that's exactly like this. But at the school, after, because we get a lot of donations, and a lot of it is, trash, to be honest. So that's the stuff that just kind of needs to be passed along. This brings it closer. It's not a source of revenue.
But Discover Books would.
Does that answer all the questions?
They would, Discover Books would pick it up. They would take whatever's in there.
Yeah,
Yes
we
or no?
don't pay anything either. They can either pick it up on a schedule or they can pick it up whenever I tell them to. And I'm lean towards the latter option just because
Right.
I would want the opportunity to look inside it before, what's in there is gone forever.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think it's a good way to get rid of books that that's the end of the line for them. So Discover Books can take them away and shred them. That's great for us.
They don't shred everything. They do sell some stuff, what they think they can. It's kind of similar to Better World
And
Books.
it's kind of like that's the price you pay. But like you say, Justin, you can go in there if you want and see if there's anything worth pulling out for a possibility, if that's, if someone has the time to do that.
I don't expect it to generate a whole lot of
Exactly.
of
No,
volume.
I'm looking at it more as a
I think
convenience.
99% of the volume is going to be me.
Right, right. And the thing is, okay, think of the manpower, both between what the library itself is doing and the Friends do in their book sale, and the books that you know are going to go in the trash. It will save a couple of steps in manpower for the people involved in hauling books in, hauling books out, hauling them to wherever. I think that in itself is a good idea, is good. My other thought is let's give it a month by month. Next, we'll keep this on the agenda and check in next month and see what's happening with it and decide if.
Yeah, I feel silly putting it back on the agenda after it was on the agenda so long. It'll be like the attic door.
All right, so what do we
Just
want to
popping
do?
on and off.
I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to
Well, I think
suggestions.
Justin could put it in his director's report. Just include it in so we don't have it as an agenda item, or do you want it as an
Right.
agenda?
Well, I was just trying to be cute because it was on and we worked hard to get it off of the agenda and now we're putting it back on again because it just appeared out of nowhere.
No, but
Justin,
do you
you're
want it,
cute.
do you need it as an agenda item, or do you want it as part of your director's report?
Let's make it an agenda item for next month under old business again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And we'll just look at it and we can say, we're done with that. Get it off. Can we delete that? Delete that item. I think it's worth a shot. See what happens. If, like I say, if nothing else, it's a way of getting rid of stuff.
Okie doke. I'll report back next month on how much chaos it's caused or whether it's been an asset.
If it's too much, let's end it. Whatever.
Yeah, are you
If
going
I
to
think-
advertise it at all or not?
Do what, Ellie?
Advertise that you have this book bin and anybody can throw stuff in it that they want or not?
I mean, I can if y'all want me to.
No, but I mean, is that going to add confusion to the whole thing? Because don't you want to go through whatever's donated first, and so that you would be the one that would be taking it out of the Friends room and throwing it in there? So you would.
Yeah, I think you might have been
accessing.
checking your oven whenever I was talking about that. But I realized I could take things out of there just as easy as I can put things in there.
Right.
So if people want to drop their donations right in there, and then like if I'm about to like do a big dump of old books in there, before I do that, I can look in and see what has been donated in there and if there's anything
Right.
worth taking off.
If that works.
Because
for
I've
you,
always kind of
Justin.
imagined the workflow from the other end, people donating things inside the library, then taking out what we don't want. But
Right.
if they donate out there and we bring in what we do want, it kind of saves us a trip, if that makes sense.
That's exactly what I was trying to get at. And you made it clearer. Yeah. I'm
Still
great
not
with
clear
that.
on it.
If
I
you're willing to,
don't get how you're going to do it, the whole thing. I mean, if
well,
you
that's what I'm
decide,
wondering.
oh, I'm going to dump it, do a big dump because I'm weeding all this stuff and it's not worth putting in the book sale or whatever, or I'm taking it out of the Friends room and putting it in there, then and you go home, the library's closed, and somebody has been on a cleaning binge of their house and they want to get rid of all these books and they want to get rid of them now. And so they come down to the library at 10 o'clock at night and put them all into that book drop thing and book bin. I don't know what it's called. Book bin. Yeah, I'm trying to read your notes here.
Sounds good.
We'll call it the donate box.
The donate box. Okay, donate box.
Again, I'll
So
bring
I mean,
up.
how do you can control something like that? I mean, can you lock
Okay.
the little, can you lock it up somehow? Put duct tape all
I
over
can't
it,
lock
or-
up the chute.
No.
We could like put something manually inside the chute, but you know, everything that person donates is going to be on top of everything that I've already gone through. So I'm going to be able to kind of see the layer of, you know, what I put in versus what got put in afterward.
Well,
If
I'll
that
look
makes
forward
sense.
to your report, your monthly reports that,
So Ellie,
Yeah.
if I can just interject, I think it's up to Justin to decide if if he's willing to do that work. Is it saving him work? However, whatever works for him. I think if Justin decides that, no, I don't have time to deal with all, it's too much of picking in this. And then that's up to Justin to make the recommendation that we can.
Well, the friends have skin in this game too, because they, you know, these are potential things they can sell. But I think where it's going to make our lives a lot easier is because we get calls a lot of times where people are like, I've got X to donate. And, you know, a lot of times it's magazines, it's encyclopedias, it's their textbooks from high school or college or whatnot. And that's the stuff that we can say, put it in the bin out back. Or if it's, you know, something that we're more interested in, they can bring it in. And then the people who just aren't going to bother to talk to us, period, which, you know, I'm sure there's a lot in town, they can just go straight to the book drop if they have stuff. And then we'll get the opportunity to see things we wouldn't have gotten to see otherwise. So I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I want to do it for a month before I decide whether it's fine or not.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Do we need to vote on that?
I don't think it's permanent yet. So
All right.
I would just,
Have Justin get back to
We'll
us
need
next
to vote in
month.
like a month or two as to whether to keep it or not.
Right.
yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right, if we're good with that, then we can, no other building projects. Looking at grants, capital campaign.
We're up a lot from the last meeting. We went from 145,000 to 157,000, thanks to a $10,000 donation from a source currently remaining anonymous, and an additional 15,000 that was completely unsolicited from Pine, Sand, and Stone.
Not 15,000, 1,500.
Wow.
1,500, 1,500. Four digits.
I had
Sorry.
seen on Dynamic Douglas, I think it was, that they were asking for to be told when people were fundraising or something like that. And it was, I think, a school item, and that they would really like to support that. And then soon after that, then I guess they must have seen the, the sign up there about the anonymous donation, and maybe said, oh, well, let's us give some money too.
Right.
Plus, it's the end of the year, right? This is for December. So then
Yeah.
people might be doing end of the year donations for various reasons for business.
That is amazing.
But do we want to publicly thank Pine, or do we want to, is that like a tickler for people?
I've already sent them a thank you note. It's on the sign out front saying thank you.
Okay.
Do you want to make it public or?
And well, I always ask the donor. So like in the thank you letter,
Right.
I ask. So I put thanks Pine, Sand, and Stone on the sign out front, but I'm not going to like write up a newspaper article or anything about it unless they say cool beans.
Yeah, I guess the social media too, which is, not like a whole big thing, but just a little call out and reminder, but don't need to.
Yep, and it'll be in my next newsletter too. At the bottom.
Okay.
Because I always put in an update on the building funds, and it'll say it basically say the same thing it's out on the sign.
Okay.
On the capital campaign, I was noticing, and maybe it's just me because I get flustered when I see money, but when looking at, I just want to make sure that the 157,321.58 is what is in the on your report. It's what's going to go to be reserved for capital. And I think I wasn't coming up with the same amount. So just double check when
Yeah,
you're
I
ready.
will. That's because it is the combination of a bunch of things. It's what's in the building donations account, the interest-bearing building donations account, and the trust fund, which is all, been invested at this point with Bartholomew. But it also includes $50,500, which we voted to reserve out of regular donations, and $21,996.44 that we voted to reserve out of grant.
And that's LIGMEG. Yeah.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
That's why if you look in the finance report up here, the LIGME grants has an expense line of 13,722.
Okay.
This is in,
Reserved for
Capital
it's got
campaign.
that reserved for the capital campaign.
Mhm.
Right.
But in my
So-
spreadsheet over here, I've got
So
21.
all of those things, the building donations with interest, the reserve for capital from LIGMEG, and the reserve for capital from regular donations. That should all add up to the 157.
That should, but this is not, because that's not the right number. I copied and pasted this from a few meetings ago whenever I was making a new table, because at some point I started merging the building donation accounts, the building donation with interest, and the trust, because we were going to try to have them invested in one lump, which Cheryl ended up investing them in 3 smaller lumps that equal one big lump, but it makes more sense to track them separately. So I went back, but that number should actually be $21,996.44.
Yikes.
Oh, wow.
So can
Okay.
you correct whatever one is back out here and
Exactly. Yeah.
send us sort of an updated thing there?
Yeah. And send out an amended.
So that I can, when I do the minutes for today.
Yeah, I'm just going to do that right now.
Okay.
You know, we
But
need to
also
make it
send it to me
permanent document.
or somehow send it to me.
Right. Okay. So that is. So that went out and it went to capital campaign.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm looking, where would that be?
Okay, yeah, that looks right again, because we've $21,996 reserved for the capital campaign, which leaves $32,161.98 of LIGMEG grant money that we have not allocated for any use. So let's
Okay.
Send that
Okay.
to me.
I am going to do that.
So now
Okay.
you got me confused. So the money, it shows reserved for capital campaign going out. Where is it going to?
It's not going anywhere. It shows up as an expense, only to make the reason I do it that way is so that this number over here doesn't look deceptive. So like regular donations, take for example, we voted to reserve $50,500 of that for building construction. So if I don't put that there as an expense, then this last column would show $57,000 instead of $7,000. So it makes it look like we have a lot more free spending money available than we actually do.
Okay, got it. Like what? Okay, I got it.
And the other thing I was noticing on Bartholomew, and I remember distinctly, probably Betty does too, that 10,000 of the Richard Douglas account is capital or principal, and the rest of it is what can be spent, is the interest. Now in here they have the beginning principal as being $9,711.71. So I don't know what happened to, you know, $300 of that, and maybe you could check with Cheryl on that, because originally it was $10,000.
What, is there any interest in that, on that?
Yeah, it's the finishing, yeah, there is. Well, the earnings are $2,364.64.
Does that, okay, so does that, I'm not paying attention to the numbers, does that negate, does that wash that? Does that?
No, it's it still is there, but it's just our notion of what the principal is should be $10,000.
Right, but what I'm saying is that 2,000.
What
Go
happens?
back to the principal. What you're saying there was 2,000 something?
What happens is they've invested all of it in one thing. There's not like two separate accounts with $10,000 in one, and you know, whatever is what is it? So they don't have a $10,000 account which automatically moves excess to another account. It's all invested. So if you look at it on there, it'll
Okay.
be something like 1653.52.
All right.
And
I get it.
10,000 of
I
that
understand
we
now.
cannot ever spend. And that is, you know, they're aware of that and it's accounted for. And if we tried to, Gene wouldn't let us.
Right, no, I'm clear with that now, Justin, thank you, because I was thinking
But
maybe it was
they,
our personal one that we could do just ourselves. I understand
No,
that.
but it's the month to month looking at it. It's confusing, and I mean Ellie likes to do it, but I don't think it's worth doing
I
because
get
the
it.
numbers
I
fluctuate,
understand.
and Zoom doesn't codify anything until the end of the fiscal year.
No,
So if the shares of whatever that Bartholomew have invested in has dropped, then that $10,000 amount can go down, but it will be replenished with whatever's in the expendable portion back up to 10,000. And you know, it's I don't understand how it all
No,
works,
I
which is why
understand.
they
I
only
totally get
codify
it,
it.
Justin. Yeah, I
Well, I'm
get
trying to
it.
answer Ellie's question too.
Not a problem. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. For the fourth time, I think you explained it to me. All right, can we move on to other grants? MBLC.
They're just hinting very strongly that there will be a construction planning grant round announced next year. So I'm expecting it.
I think the trustees I got a notice from the MBLC saying that it was a go. I mean, that it's there now. And I started to look at the thing and it was too confusing for, my pay is not high enough to read that stuff, which is zip.
I can look at it quickly.
Well, no, we don't have to
There.
talk about it now, but I thought the MBLC had already sent out something, because I got something from them, I'd say it was from one of their consultants that work at the MBLC.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if I'm just on their mailing list or if all trustees are on their mailing list or not. So, but it was within the last month. And I started to look at it and I said, you know, this is something that Justin is supposed to be acing.
Yeah, all I have is we're finalizing requirements for the next grant round to be announced in 2023.
Okay.
More information
if I
will be
can find
available.
what email I had gotten, I'll forward it to you.
Okie doke.
All right. So let's look at moving on
It's
to,
gonna take minutes, so this is gonna be, I don't want to listen to this all over again. Okay.
are we okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to move right through here.
Yeah, you're doing a good job, Danielle.
Thanks. An updated action plan approval. I could not
I sent
open
that
it.
as an email last week.
Yes,
I can also pull it up now if you want to see it.
I just
Maybe.
read it before the meeting. And I didn't understand where you switched the something from 2,000, 200,000 to from 400,000 down to 200,000, which I that one.
Oh yeah, that I was just saying if we, because the NBLC wants these to be like, did we succeed? Yes or no. It wants to be like a yes or no thing. So like if we've raised $200,000 by the end of 2000 and because this isn't for like this is just for the fiscal year, so it would be what we hope to have raised by June 2024. Right? Yeah. So I mean, if we're up to $200,000 by June 2024, I would consider that a success. But I'll happily put any number in there you want.
Just as long as it wasn't something that we still have our goal of reaching 400,000 or
more.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And the other thing was, if you go up to before the capital campaign about the staff, and I'm not sure I'm keen on obtaining funds from the Friends for going to these for these memberships. I'm all in favor of these memberships. I'm just wondering if the town provides memberships, professional memberships for other people, like Matt. That's
a line item.
What? And
I can ask. I mean, would the trustees be interested in me adding that to a budget request?
Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, it's something that's important for the staff, and it's professional development or whatever. And I that would be a good request to put into your budget, because your budget's coming up pretty quick.
It is.
So
yes, I have to agree with Ellie.
I'll do that because I don't think Matt will have a problem with that at all.
I would like to put money into the budget for professional development at whatever level it may be. And I don't know how much money is available and what the cost would be, but any type of certification or
training, it's just
course or something
I think
that would move someone forward.
Yeah, it used to be, there used to be a line item for it that Ann used, and it's one of the things that got dropped back when, we were trying to keep the library when we were trying to get them to fund us with the free cash or whatever, pre-override, the earlier budget battles, when we were trying to, slim things down as much as we can to avoid overinflating our MAR. But yeah, I just hadn't thought about adding it to the budget, but that makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. So
I'll just axe that from that in the action plan, obtain funding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I don't know how much we're going to nitpick right now on this action plan. Not a lot, but
well, don't you want to
just a question? Okay, a question to put out there, Justin. Back when I was doing my thing before I retired, there was a connection through the Department of Early Education and Care between early education and care programs, libraries, and the CFCEs. That's what the Burroughs Branch Y, they're the CFCE lead agency. That there was a connection between those three groups. And it started off quarterly. I don't even know if it still exists, where we could have a chance to get together and talk with library staff, the CFCE staff who are out in the community trying to get connections with families, and early education and care programs. And I found that was a really good experience for the people in my area, librarians, our people. I don't know if it's still in existence.
Danielle, what's CFEC stand for?
It's CFCE, it's Coordinated Family and Community Engagement. They have initiatives going on. I'm not even sure. I mean, it's been 4 years since I was in the loop, so I'm not sure what their focus is now. But
So
they did
Community,
some
so coordinated,
coordinated
coordinated,
family
yeah,
and community
yeah,
engagement.
engagement. Okay. I just like
They
to,
might be funding the beginning bridges in Whitensville.
Yes, that's right, Betty. That's exactly it. And I'm good friends with
They're
Emily.
still very active. They have things in the paper every week.
Yes,
There's,
that's
I
my
don't
friend.
think they,
Go ahead.
I don't think Douglas is in beginning bridges, though. I think it's
No,
in different
no.
towns.
It's Northbridge and Uxbridge. That's Emily Murray. She's a very good friend of mine. She picked my brain when she first started in that job. And she
so
took
what
it.
is it? What am I supposed to put into the minutes about this? Beginning bridges. This is the first time I've ever heard of it.
All
So
right. The
Well,
only
that's
thing,
nothing to do with,
No,
that's
no.
nothing to do with the minutes.
right. It's
well,
just-
we discussed it,
Yep.
so. And
Yeah,
I
but
just,
if-
Okay.
How does this relate
all of a
to
sudden I
aligning
decided
the
to
plan?
kick in and take some notes.
All right, yeah, let's just go past. Let's take some notes, Ellie, and keep them on the side. Then
Yeah.
you keep,
But
you
I
know
would
where
say
to
that the
keep.
lead for this is Beth Gaylor, who's also the
Yes. She does.
YFCP person.
I'm a very good friend with Beth too.
Yep, and she.
Just have Deb
yeah, I
call them
talked to
up
Beth.
and,
Mention my name to Beth Gaylor. Okay. And Emily Murray.
well, Deb knows all about that because she got all those grants for paying for Deb Hutchins and a lot of
Right.
the other things. So
You know,
Deb
guess
knows
what,
where all that
Betty?
comes from.
Betty, I taught Beth what she knows too. She was a newbie when I was there and she picked my brain. That's what I did. That's what I did in my communities that I served. Douglas doesn't get that now. They get a little tiny piece of the pie from the Y. And that's it. You get Deb Hudgens.
Talk to me about this later, because why doesn't Douglas get more?
Okay, I agree. I will talk. Justin, I'm more than happy to. Let's meet. Someday when they have lunch. All right, move on. I'm sorry.
So the action plan, that it does require a vote if we're going to approve it, or we can not and come back to it next month.
How do people feel about tabling it and coming back?
Works for me, because I need to
Right.
fix the Friends thing anyway.
All right, so let's table it. We'll revisit it next month and maybe dig a little deeper into it with some of those things that we brought up. Okay.
Okay.
We're at Gail and Deb attended that, which report on
Yeah. I wanted to know whenever we do things like this, so
right.
so I
That's
put it
good.
in.
We should know that. Yep. That's good. Under friends. All
Nothing.
business.
Oh, well, Friends, wait a minute. Friends will be sending out their flyer this month. I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was two different things. I'm sorry.
No, it is. I mean, that was my mistake by saying nothing.
No, it's not. It's not, Ellie. It's my mistake.
That's mine somehow, I'm sure.
Well, let's all beat ourselves
I
up.
had a senior moment and I didn't have anything to report.
We all have,
Remember.
okay, we're either Puritans or Catholics. So we can all just flagellate ourselves. All right, moving on. Oh, children's room toys, another controversial issue.
That was a controversial issue.
Hmm.
We got a list. Did everybody see the list?
Yes.
Yes.
Where did the list go? There's the list.
Okay.
And I have to say that Justin was able to find some critical items that I found at a lower price, especially the dollhouse. That was a big thing that we wanted.
I hate to be a naysayer, and how much time we have? 43, and so 15 more minutes. But I'm not a big fan of toys because my kids are in their 40s now. You know? I don't know. I just don't think of
Let's call Ellie.
So
Let's
I-
call
so
them
I- that's
early
just-
learning materials.
yeah,
Early
well,
learning materials.
yeah, I'm not. I prefer more literacy type stuff. I know it's probably falls into that category, but I'm just not a big fan of.
It's literacy through play. It's learning through socio-emotional learning modalities, which more words. I'm running out of them.
Well, it's not
But-
going to convince me anyway. I'm not into it. So but I just don't want to, slam the idea because of the way I feel. So.
I'll just say it's kind of expected. We've especially with we were just talking about her, Deb Hudgens. A lot of the people that come to her musical program, kind of follow her around to some other libraries. So go to other libraries, and then we had a new family here the other day who was like, well, where are your toys for checking out? It's like, our what? We don't have toys for checking out. It's like, well, they do in Oxford. It's like, well, we're not Oxford. I have to go back to Oxford. I'm sorry. So I don't know. We're supposed to do everything experience now.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else does, but I might need a refresher on what the thought process was and what we're doing for funding and all that kind of stuff with this.
So the need was identified to replace some of the toys that we have that we put out in the children's area because a lot of them were sort of missing parts or old or dingy, non-functional, worn out. And so Danielle proposed a list, which me and Deb look at and refined. And so we came up with this list of things that we could add to the room in the where the early readers materials are, in the cubbies where we have the board books now, because I recently extended those shelves upwards. So we've got 8 cubes on top where we could just put things in so that parents can pull them out, have, some kind of themed play set that they can use at a table or in the floor or what have you, and then back up when they're done.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, we'll make the pages do it.
And so the total would come to that for just under 500, right? And we just need to vote on whether or not we fund that and how. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And so no one's checking these out. These are just to stay in the building.
Yeah, these are for the space, for our space.
Okay. Well, I can say my son's no longer using those, but he's also young enough to have used them at the library, and he did get a lot out of them. He used to love to use those pieces that were there, and it is discouraging if there's a lot of pieces that are missing. And it doesn't seem like such a big ask for what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
That's my 2 cents.
I'm going to stay out of this discussion since I was the one who proposed this. So,
Who else wants to speak then?
okay, I will entertain a motion to approve funding for the 400, what is it, $495? Just, all
Prices might have fluctuated on Amazon
right, so
since then,
approve,
so I would
okay,
like
so
to
we
do a
had,
cap of 515 or something.
so we had originally said 750. So how about if I say I will entertain a motion to accept funding for $550 to augment the materials, the early learning materials in the children's area.
Danielle, just one thing, unless someone's not showing on my screen, I only see 4 people here besides Justin. So I don't think we have a quorum to vote,
I thought
unless I'm
we,
Oh,
mistaken.
this one down here, I think it's
One,
Nick
two,
is still here,
three,
isn't he?
four. Oh, we did lose somebody. We lost.
Betty's here, right? Betty, that's you, that number? Or is
I'm
it
That's
still
Nick?
here
Nick.
as well.
This number, the 686.
That's Nick. So we lost Betty.
Oh, we did.
Yep.
Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Maybe she's coming down to the library, like I am in a few minutes.
all right, so we'll table it.
Yeah, I
On to
think we-
the next agenda item. Table
Unfortunately.
it for another month. Maybe by summer we'll get something. I'm not funny. I'm not being funny.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would vote for it, Danielle, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. So I'm just trying to
Whatever.
get the right, I'm not trying not to get a tie here. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so what is our next thing?
My review, oak benches and spool.
Director's review, Justin and I signed it, and submitted to the town administrator. Oak benches and spool. I know nothing about them.
Well, we were hoping to get rid of the giant oak benches upstairs during the Friends of the Library auction. That they were priced in such a way that no one bought them. And the same with the spool. So like I'm fine letting the benches stay until the next auction. And trying to talk Donna Metz into lowering the initial bid price. So maybe somebody will actually take them off our hands and we can put out good chairs. The spool though is like, I really wish we could just get someone to come haul it away for free. And I bet somebody would, because it's keeping me from being able to put up shelves in the friends room, which they kind of desperately need. And I need to get stuff out of library storage into the friends room. And it doesn't make sense to do that until the spool is gone and I've got the storage put up there to put the stuff. So,
Well,
I mean,
you-
does
you
anybody
could
want a
just-
spool?
Can we,
Well, yeah, just say that,
can we use
go
it for firewood?
highest person, best offer takes the spool. And
Yeah.
Till February 1st or something like that to do it. And then if somebody offers $5, that's it. If that's the only bid, but get some interest, make it into a program that people excited,
In your spare time.
Yeah, that I'd be for that, trying to get someone to bid on it and get it out of there.
Yeah, that'd be great. How could you put a spin on it? Put a spin on the
No,
Yeah,
okay, this
yeah,
meeting's
yeah.
over.
All
Nope.
right, come on,
Nope.
you can do it. Get your creative juices going.
No puns allowed here.
Does it have like a checkerboard on top?
Yeah, but it's
It does have a checkerboard on top.
Is it huge?
It's pretty huge.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't have it in my house.
Well, you'd have to have the highest bid, Danielle. It's
If
not.
I don't, okay, that's kind of like all those, if any volunteers step forward and everybody else steps back. So you're the loved ones, up front. would, if I had the room, I think it's kind of funky. I would take it, but I just don't have the space.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, anyhow. Other new business? Other old business?
I got nothing.
I just wanted to say I was on mute when the director's review. I just wanted to say kudos, Justin. Those were really great reviews and
Well,
good
thank
job.
you. I was pleased. I really have not felt like I've been on my A game for the past 2 years, but
We like
Well,
you.
the world hasn't been.
Very nice. New business.
I got none. Everybody needs to come to the library for Intrepid Readers now.
Right, exactly. I still have 7 minutes. Then I have to finish cooking the dinner and stuff like that. So, are we turning ourselves off?
We have to
Do we have to
adjourn.
decide the next meeting?
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
ask
Are we
about
having
that.
one in 2 weeks or not?
I don't think we need 2 weeks.
No. So should we just skip until February? Is that was
Yeah,
your intention?
I'm good with
I
that.
didn't know. So that's
Yeah.
fine with me. So when's the next meeting? February?
Wait a minute, I have 2 things. I have the 14th or the 28th. I don't know which is right.
By summer, we're gonna have them
28th would be
twice.
the next one, or that would be the 4th Tuesday in February.
Yeah, the 28th.
The 28th. Okay.
All right.
Yep, the 28th is good.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So Justin, I guess I'll be in touch with you. Shoot me an email about whatever.
Okay,
And,
so if you'll adjourn the meeting, I will end the recording.
I will adjourn the meeting. I have a motion on the floor. No, I don't. I'll accept a motion.
I'll move it.
All right, second.
Seconded.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
It's a
Aye.
standing motion, as Joe used to say.